I'm a 22-year-old guy, and my girlfriend, also 22, have been together for 5 amazing years. We started dating in high school, and until recently, I envisioned her as my future wife. I even bought a ring, planning to propose in the coming months. Last weekend, my girlfriend went out to celebrate her best friend's birthday at a private lounge in a club. Since I wasn't invited and despise clubbing, I stayed home, looking forward to a chill evening binge-watching Netflix. She left around 9 p.m. and I settled on the couch to watch some YouTube. However, at around 11 p.m., a sudden and intense stomach pain hit me like a kick to the groin. At first I shrugged it off, but within minutes the pain escalated, leaving me curled up on the couch. Thinking it was just a passing phase, I tried to get up to grab my phone but collapsed instead, feeling unbearable agony. Managing to crawl to the table, I immediately called my girlfriend, but she declined. So I texted her, explaining that something was seriously wrong and she needed to come home right away. The club was only a 5-minute walk from our place. Just as I put the phone down, I started vomiting from the pain. After a minute, the nausea eased up a bit. I checked my phone only to see her annoyed response. "What is it?" I tried calling her again, but she declined again. I texted that I needed to go to the hospital immediately, and when she asked why, I replied my crotch hurt. Embarrassed, I called emergency services and told the dispatcher my situation. She asked if someone could drive me, and foolishly, I answered yes, thinking my girlfriend would return soon. I felt awkward about calling an ambulance for something so embarrassing. After our call, the dispatcher promised to check back in 10 minutes. I put down the phone and went back to throwing up on the carpet. When I checked my phone again, my girlfriend replied with laughing emojis, and when I called, she just declined again. She texted that it wasn't the time for games, that she wanted to enjoy her night, and warned me she'd block me if I messaged again. I tried one more time, but this time, I realized she had actually blocked me. Desperate and shivering now, I called emergency services again and requested an ambulance. It felt like ages, but eventually they arrived and rushed me to the hospital. I don't recall much of the surgery due to sedation, but when I finally woke up, I felt strange sensations in my lower region. The doctor informed me I had a testicular torsion, and that I was incredibly lucky to have gotten to the hospital in time. I glanced at my phone and noticed all the missed calls and frantic messages from my girlfriend. It turns out she came home from a night of clubbing, and was furious, because I had made a mess of the carpet and the apartment after throwing up. She searched everywhere for me, demanding to know where I was, and why I had left the front door unlocked. When she finally realized I wasn't there, the reality of the situation struck her. Panic set in, and she bombarded me with over 70 messages as she spiraled into a mental breakdown. I simply replied with the hospital name and my room number before drifting off to sleep. The next morning, I woke up to find my girlfriend sleeping on the couch next to my bed. When she woke up, she launched into a stream of apologies, thinking it was all a joke and that I was trying to ruin their night. I was so hurt that I didn't have the energy to argue, opting for silence instead. Part of me wanted to break up with her then and there. How could anyone ignore the messages of a partner pleading for them to come home? She stayed out until 3 a.m., completely disregarding my well-being. Although she took good care of me during my 2-day hospital stay, my anger lingered. Since getting home, I've been wrestling with the idea of ending our relationship, yet a part of me believes she genuinely thought I was messing around and made a terrible mistake. I feel torn and uncertain about what to do next. I never had a problem with her going out, and I've never played any mean jokes to make her come home early from a night out. We've always gone out together, sharing the same friend groups. Admittedly, expecting her to drive me to the hospital after she had been drinking was foolish, but in that moment of pain, clarity was hard to find. I needed her for support, and my instincts took over. Reflecting on it, I know it was also a mistake not to call an ambulance immediately. In so much pain, I thought it would pass, and that getting to the hospital myself would be better. Plus, feeling embarrassed about calling over my crotch hurting now seems ridiculous in hindsight. Time has passed, and I'm feeling much better, though being unable to work for the next 3 weeks is a bummer. I work for my dad's construction company, which involves heavy lifting, and I'm also advised to avoid intimacy during this time. Occasionally, I feel a hint of the same pain, and it drives me a bit nuts. As for my girlfriend, things are complicated. Many, my mom included, pointed out that 5 years is too long to end things without a real conversation. So I opened up to her about how her actions hurt me. I listed my concerns. Ignoring my messages and rejecting my calls. While clubs can be loud in my area, there are smoking spots where a phone conversation is possible. Not checking on me, even though the club is just a 5-minute walk from our apartment. Her anger about my throwing up instead of concern for my well-being. She grew defensive, saying I should have communicated better and that she genuinely thought I was joking. She admitted to being drunk and not thinking straight, adding that it couldn't have been that painful and I was over-exaggerating. I acknowledged that I could have worded my messages differently and apologized for that. However, I went on to describe the overwhelming pain I felt, explaining that I barely had the energy to text, let alone provide a detailed account of my situation. After I spoke, she broke down in tears, apologizing for her actions. She admitted that if she had realized how serious the situation was, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. She also expressed regret for being angry with me over my vomiting, explaining that she had been drunk and tired and was simply venting her frustration. I then asked her why she thought I was joking and if she had been cheating on me, as this behavior was so unlike her, a reason why I had trusted her deeply. Her tears intensified as if I had struck her. She clarified that she thought I was just being insecure about her being at the club with other guys and reassured me that she would never cheat. We embraced for a solid 10 minutes. The next part was tough, but I told her I needed some space to think and that she should stay with her parents for now. She immediately spiraled into a panic, asking if I was breaking up with her. I explained that I wasn't sure and needed time to determine if I could still trust her after such a profound breach of respect. How could I fully trust someone with my life after this? I reminded her that we were young and our immaturity had led to this massive vital life lesson for both of us, regardless of whether we remained together. After a bit of pleading, she hung her head and began to pack a few essentials. Just before she left, she expressed her willingness to do anything to make amends and assured me to take all the time I needed. She gave me a heartfelt kiss and walked out. That was 2 days ago, and that's where we stand now. I keep her updated on my healing, but apart from that, we've had no contact. I'm feeling conflicted. While I still struggle to trust her, her acknowledgement of her wrongdoing shows that she recognizes her mistake and feels remorse. This behavior is definitely out of character for her, but I know I need to set clear boundaries and new rules moving forward. Here are some thoughts I have. If she blocks me again for any reason, it will mean she's blocking herself from any chance of seeing me again. Ignoring my messages will not be acceptable anymore. If she goes out alone, she must answer my calls without fail. As many of you have suggested, establishing an emergency code, something like hospital, is essential. I won't misuse these boundaries. I simply want the peace of mind that my partner has my best interests at heart, even when she's not physically present. I really appreciate all the support you've given me through this process. It's been a real eye-opener. So should I consider getting back together with her? If yes, do you think these demands are reasonable? And should I add anything else?
Did you hear? Alex is so antisocial, he's been posting photos from a vacation he took 3 years ago, pretending he's still on vacation to avoid hangouts.